Hey, I'm Astro Star, starting Overdrive 15 off with an old Delfino Island race out of September 2017. Inward drifting bikes jump ahead on their wheelies, but the ramp in front of us is gonna even our speed and allow me to keep up until they claim the mushrooms they kick out of leaves. This is already going wrong if you check my drift angle, but I'm always prepared to reset it over the off-road patch in the event of this bad ramp drift, so I can make that turn. It cut off a Super Mini turbocharge, and to make things worse, I'm too rusty to snake. Just in case you might miss it, hidden with the trick was a drift direction change. I just might feel a little too safe without items, and I'll throw this one down to catch Raptor off guard. Ain't it a great thing I failed that, because now I'll be doing a tight snake to avoid the Gesso and Raptor snipe attempt, and that's not enough to stop me from a clean, continuous snake between the crates, bypassing the ramp to charge a Super Mini. I love low jumps and all, but some things. Raptor really thinks he'll hit me, keeping me on my toes with his next shot, holding my charge until I'm sure I can't be billed. I stay on guard for the Gesso's attacks until he breaks to get me with the blue, passing the lead to Raptor, car top 2! Imagine the lead I could have had if that sad event hadn't taken place. I'm chasing another Wild Wing, so I'm not losing much, and even though it's a daisy, my mini turbo is sufficient so I won't fall behind too much. I need a leaf banana below to catch the red, instead compromising with that banana to cancel red's stun time. I find myself in a bad setup. Really bad, and I thought I would have to let go into it. This time, unlike last lap, I can charge up a Super Mini Turbo. It might be just enough to keep the Gesso of a Mini Turbo wheeling past me, this downslope there to stop him from doing that, keeping 5th out of his grasp for as long as I can manage. I landed so badly that I expect to be really slammed off the dock with this lunge, speeding to escape just that outcome because I missed a Mini Turbo caused by being bumped. I need to be hitting the bottom corner of this ramp to start my crate snake, Daba's presence discouraging me out of a Super Mini charge, so bike low jump it is, I suppose. It doesn't put me as far ahead as the Super Mini would, now ready for whatever the Daisy Wild Wing has, if anything, and Dark Tom's trailed red versus my patience, giving in to the smaller cut. He backs it! I was saving this for the fence cut. Now I have to take a risk if I want to do that, heading into lap 3 with a large gap between players. Raptor might think I try to weasel this under the jump, and I believe he's hitting the banana to throw me off, so why bother attempting giving it to him, right? I'd rather cut some distance than waste it on an unsuccessful pass. I skipped the ramp because I'd like not to be kicked in space by trying, the mushroom and turn jump taking the edge of the thundercloud effect. But now I have to worry about 6 o'clock attacks. Catching up to first isn't looking that great. I'd mainly get triple mushrooms in this position instead of power items. There's an unplanned change of line followed by a bike not to get knocked off my drift by a bike. If my drifts are messed up, I have to take the alternative cut, and that's not as fun as drifting between the crates, starting like so. My attention is taken off the racers trailing me after that dock slaughter, so it's a 1v1 with Raptor's Wild Wing. That strat would have caught me up more had I secured a Super Mini charge, stepping on it out of the path of his back green and into the clutches of a raging POW! I am in such a safe position without the risk of a red, barring the POW and blue for running their 24-second unavailability timers, making a blue the likelier pull against me. It would have happened about as I took that last jump if there was one. I mentioned rust because karting without VR search is the play in a dumpster fire, so I just didn't for several months for the most part. This was not that dumpster fire because players were not spammy insane, and Delfino Island is a treacherous beast, the nature of which spaces players out. That plus the TC condemned me to second. When you kart, it's better if all the players are close together so you have access to recovery powers after TCs, since you're prone to pulling and receiving them more than other players. The rest of the races in this set have VR search reinstated. Sure, odds are weighty against me karting, but I'm not looking at odds against me, I'll just win, and that's my mentality. Shane always backs items my way when I follow close, the thing I keep in mind from the start. I would be going out of my way for TC, so no boxes. Shane will be occupied with maid, therefore to neither of them am I an attack priority. I'm not fast enough to be on their radar, so I'm fine following on their lines. Why would maid back the shell into me when first is the goal? I'll not snake if I can't get a good alignment. I can slip past Maid's triple reds as Shane absorbs them for me while I leap right through the cuts, my landing factoring in the bounces, the bomb car, and Shane could lag through that. He's not showing me what he's holding. I'm reading that maybe he plans to catch me off guard, but I know he'll back something ready to move on a dime. But when? I don't think he knows how tightly I'm following him, unsure if he's checking his rear view because there are a few spots he can smack me guaranteed. I wonder if he's planning a surprise attack. You notice I'm not eagerly spamming what remains of my triple mushrooms despite my serious lack of speed. As this blooper hits, it's a little more effective on this course, and I'm highly alert to items swerving outward almost too late. The ink attack claims Shane as a victim right around the bend, flashing a fake box with intent to catch me speeding into it. His typical attacks alert me that he might lob it, focused mainly on setting up a one mini turbo snake, so he throws it to a line I won't be. With the appearance of a POW, I ready my angle outward so I can jump into the tunnel. I'm a little too slow and large to avoid thunderclouds, lucky with how close that TC was. I can't believe he missed me with that. What is even happening on his screen? How about you don't chase me with that, and we're good. I'm under the impression Shane might have a fib, a delayed decision to throw out to wait to see if he would trail anything. If he showed me his item earlier, I would have saved my red. It's purely because I value lines more than items that I don't bother getting a box, as my SMT is pretty powerful and I can always get something else in a more ideal location that is not far from a turn. I extend outward in anticipation of a trapped curve, met with a nice helpful surprise, granting me a single in my reserve. One mushroom makes for a shallower cut, flying into risky business territory as I land fairly close behind him and his green shell, another missed opportunity to whack me down. I'm going to overtake him on a grass patch, doubtless I can dodge his attempt to shoot me out of first. Has he got a plot twist for me? I can untwist that before I get tangled up in disaster that becomes way too close, and that's why I'm slicing it tight to guarantee my win. Maiden Shane spilled at the last set. Car shell combo again? The last thing I was expecting was the trip on that shell. Shortly after, a flock of 6Ks joined us. I got caught up in all the spam they brought and switched to Mach bike to hold on to my sanity, but I couldn't get it back after that. Mach bike rooms aren't that common, but diverse character Mach is much less so. It's not often I race on a level playing field, almost never. Mach vs 11 Flame Runners is overwhelming in its brutality, so this was great. Not that I'm complaining. I don't give boxes much attention at race starts, but this time, what I want is a mushroom, but triple greens is a great item to bulldoze players off this banister, or to get them to trip on me by hopping on a buck short and a rat blade. Contesting my lead right away is Fruits with already one of 3 reds, jumping around the wall to salvage my shell from just that, but cancel that with a late action. I know what he's doing with that TC, and I'll cut him off short of landing, but not only has lag concealed his location, I didn't see him throw that. Not a bad parkour recovery, but I wish I'd kept my shell. How little did I consider how fast they would catch up, punted with but the simple act of drifting because Bede clipped the corner. I've come to expect this in most of my races, even my weightless Mach bikes, but I wasn't aware we had a bullet bike breaking our Mach room. Nameless doesn't appear to be cornering as tightly as bullet bike is capable of, and that's a slow bike, so I get the benefit of a tight box on a better line. The appearance of the shock makes me aware I'm in a 6-player room. I delayed jumps on the first and last to avoid lava baths with foresight of traps. Agility is preparedness, finishing this section like an outside drifter because my multiple vehicle skills blend. Not just that, but I can't drive straight tonight. Something's off. I'm not giving you a bump attack, Bede. The shock is only as strong as the number of players you can pass with it. The 4 ahead will be slower with their attacks on each other, resulting in me inching closer. I like being unpredictable to an effective degree, so I intend to carry this up for a while. Something's definitely off with my sense of control. Who expects anyone other than Deep Six to have shock? In their minds, Mame is the one assumed to pull and immediately spam it in desperation. They don't expect me to have it. The group won't dodge in a 6-player room either. Mame is the likeliest one to get a dodge, but he's too far back so I can safely dodge him. By the way, he is way back there. What happened? This bullet bike is driving slowly by thickening her turns to make up for her tight drift, which is bad for me. You can see me creeping up, deciding to slow down to bide my time until she does something with the red. I dreaded having to squander my shock on that or forbid being stuck behind her all race. Fireball must have driven her to the left path. New players always go there. Finally, and back to civilization and didn't need to... Where'd she go? Out of nowhere, green shell hellfire, that's where, so I spammed for chain to outrun the one that could hit me if my wheelie dropped. I didn't need a chain wheelie, turns out, but Fruits got the whack, and who expects a shock bearer in third? I'd only planned to use it situationally, unlikely to be pulled twice, activating 2 sets before the cut for a mushroom, a small benefit of a screw job at the ramp, hoping to target shock someone without seeing how close Bede was, so his shrink speed was cancelled by the ramp and he's much closer than I wanted. Bad call, he has a red! I hopped to beat his red to the fib, delaying and slowing it down to where he trips on it. The blooper hid it from him. But of course! They're getting away from me now! I wish I would have held that, what a waste! Was comboing the shock form mushroom over the cut worth it? There exists a silver lining to a failed plan. What beats a massive lead? You'll find out. After Fruits fails to shoot Shane, there's no chance of backspam, free to follow as close as able, but do you think I'll catch a draft? Was the risk in stretching my distance for a box worth it? You bet! Am I now about to kill myself as my neurons misfire and I low jump unconsciously? Odds of winning have just gone up. That low jump is dangerous. I can't believe I made that blind. Nobody trapped either. No red now, unlikely later when I'll be shrooming into the lead. Shane is in first, Fruits is in second, Bede is in third. The other two are too far back, so it's just the four of us. Shane is going to get the longest shrink time and seems least likely to win, and he'll finish fourth. I'm going to resize the soonest after the shock, but at my distance, I may be able to win. When you resize, the wheelie's top speed drops. Your bike has to reaccelerate to its regular top speed before wheelie acceleration can begin, even if you were in a full wheelie when you resized. Look at my speedometer when I resize. With that in mind, this next part, I didn't even see it until I rewatched it. Watch Shane. Has my shot come back to bite me? Shane is starting a drift to charge a mini turbo, so when he resizes, he can bypass wheelie acceleration and slaughter me at 111. That was such a close finish, I don't think I won. My position tracker was fighting everybody. Third rolls to third, it's so close it jumps to first. 94 is my max and I'm at 89, but my wheelie drops and I'm hammering that button to get a chain, re-accelerating. My tracker doesn't know what to display. I don't know where anybody is, but do you know what a rolling 2 means? That's right. Of the four of us, Fruits ended in fourth. As a wheeler, I don't think he'd been able to do the mini turbo resize because they can't soft drift. He also might have wheelie turned when shaking the wheel. He did start in second. Lobbies with this kind of strength and up are best to kart in since everyone plays on the same page, and faster players mean access to recovery powers and heightened winning odds. Good job on that start boost. Now Casper's salty about not being able to wheelie, aren't ya? By missing this set, I plan to chase second and third, hold that spot, and pick up something along the way. I'll gradually fall back to power item positions as players take the cut each lap if I avoid taking hits, guaranteed if I butcher SMTs. Whoops! That Daisy used the Panic Star set once, so we're not all on the same page, out of their element. With a pull like this, no doubt I can hold third with as cramped as Shroom Ridge is, but that Daisy's out of control. Under assumption I gave the bomb car room, I jerked so hard I felt my capillaries constricting my fingers and the bill. I'm not getting the fast-paced race I'm after, so the plan is to use powers through cars until I get up to some cuts. I don't know it until it's too late, but there's another build coming up behind me. There's an oncoming car on my right, forced into the truck, and if you thought that was bad, I'm 1 kilometer an hour off from being able to drift. But where many lead themselves into a panic mistake cycle like the Daisy, I'm calm about planning how I'll catch up. 51 seconds, hoping for the shock. By using Bill now, it'll take me to the box that's before the cut so I can then take it this lap. Shock might be unpredictable. I suspect Bill will drop me off on a straight with more tracks being designed that way. Seems to be just that case and I'm well within winnable range. I figured this would be a much more star. However, this same Daisy has a penchant for making this as difficult as possible, plowing in to get another obstacle, and I'm smashing her bike into this wall to get a box for lunging my cart off alignment. And then I'm gonna screw off because anything that screeches ends badly for me. The boxes I thought were taken were available, but little did I know my cart would let go of the road when I changed that drift. A tad unfamiliar. Thought that was fixed. Gotta say it, the way that shock was used was the same as triple reds. I mean, you only passed 3 of us. Use shock immediately if you want limited benefits. And off she goes. I'm not one to squander a super mini of this strength, just a panic about a star that will not go out of its way to hit me. Yeah, Liam appears to be doing just that, activating mine just in case. Not sure why he's swerving all over. Is he a cart? Now that I've wasted my star in his indecisiveness, I can't combo it into a box and into the cut to bring the power near the front. And if I saw my star would last longer, I would have gone tight through the red car, rode out my super mini, then used Bill in the cut. I just hope I land in the center, but I'm getting nothing to defend my position except the sound of a shell. Biker's red trading card is begging for impulse control, but I have to get rid of that bomb before he drops that thing in my face that ends it all. Sliding way off alignment with blooper ink of all things. Mind on first and not the cars. Now slam it! Ah, and there it ends in a trail of bananas and tears. I could have passed him, I really would have had that, but Casper acted just fast enough to guard his lead. I didn't see it coming because I was exclusively focused on surviving and just didn't note that we had all passed through a box row. There was just too much going on. If Casper didn't have that bomb, I wouldn't have been so badly misaligned and probably would have won. Thank you for watching Overdrive!